Hello, YouTube fans, here again. Now, as I did Halloween 3, why not this one? Now, as we all know, the success of Halloween 3, sadly, it wasn't that successful. Even though now it's became a cult classic, it wasn't the success what John Carpenter wanted it to be. Originally, as it would have been a success, the fourth one would have been more to do with an haunted house. That's right, an haunted house. But as I just said, without repeating myself, it wasn't that successful. So what can I say? Halloween 4 come out, right, back in 1988. So it took him a few years to do the fourth one. But John Carpenter decided because it wasn't the way he wanted it, he wanted to move on. So his next film would have been They Live. Damn good film. And I do admit, I like this one, but it just goes to show you that money talks and you can do that tip with money when it comes to Hollywood. Because we all know in Halloween 2 that Dr. Loomis, played by my mate John Pleasance, got killed. Same as Michael Mathis. Remember the scene where he puts the light off, blows himself up, self-sacrifices himself to save Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. And again, they was going to bring back Jamie Lee Curtis to play her role as Laurie Strode. But at the time, this is a true story, at the time, she was doing another film called Fist Gold Wonder, and she didn't want to be typecasted just being in slasher films anymore. So decided not to have her in it. I do know originally it was going to start bits from number 2, the bit where Dr. Loomis puts that lighter on, and you could have saw a bit of him getting blown through a door, and the bit where Michael Mathis is all burnt up. But that side of got stacked. So instead, what you get, you get a surgeon, you get a male surgeon, and they will see Michael Mathis. He's in a coma after what happened in number 2, and he's in an ambulance. Then he gets up, he kills one of the guys, does effect the thumb in the head, and you don't see the death of the woman who's also one of the nurses, but you sort of like get to see the aftershots later on. I've got to admit though, I prefer the music, that music. I prefer that more the way it was played in Halloween 2. It was a lot more cheaper and it's a lot more stereo, but still not a bad theme for what it is. I'm not really a lover of the mask what they wear in this one, and all for the actor that plays Michael Mathis. I prefer how it looked in number 2. But the guy who's playing Michael is still stimulating, he's a lot bigger, a lot more stereo. So now you get our mate John Pleasance, and you do get a little girl in it. I remember this little girl. I remember her a lot. She was so lovable, so adorable. There was a lovely little girl in Last Boy Scout with Bruce Willis. A lot longer than this. You can definitely tell it's one of her early roles. One of her first roles, I believe. So she's having nightmares about Michael, and you get the idea that that is the uncle. It's one of the things what pisses me off is, just like they did with Friday the 13th Part 2, the character Alice, they kill Laurie Strode off. They could have just left an opening for her, but they kill her off. But we all know what happened in H2O and the other ones, matic things happen when things make go. But in Halloween 4, you got the idea that they killed her character off. But they do pick another card I like, the final girl being Rachel. And I like Rachel. Again, the only thing what pisses me off is number 5th one. Really pissed me off, just like they do in Friday the 13th Part 2. But, it's like I said, with Friday the 13th Part 2, you cut those bits out at the beginning. The rest of it's a dud film. By Halloween, I must put my brains in. Halloween 5, I meant to say. It's just shit anyway. But this one isn't shit. It's a dud one. It's a dud one. So you've got Dr. Loomis, and he sees the aftershots of what's happened with the ambulance. It's like very, very bloody, but you don't see a lot. But you get the idea it's a massacre. And in this, it does have a few gruesome deaths. And again, you get one of my other favourite girls. She's been in Reanimator 2, part of Reanimator, and she's definitely not shy. And she's definitely got a nice pair of tits, that is. Nice little bit where she's doing it with a lad on the settee. A lot of people remember that. And I do remember the death scene what Michael does, where he gets this guy, crushes his fucking head with his bare hands. Kind of reminds me of the death scenes that was done in the Friday the 13th films. And in all fairness, I always wonder whether the company that did this, being Halloween 4, saw Friday the 13th and thought they used a similar idea. Because it was very similar to how Jason kills some of his victims in the Friday the 13th films. So he's chasing the dirt. There's only one little fuck up in it. There's a scene in it, right, where Dr. Loomis has got the little girl, right, and he jumps out, puts his humerus on his arse, and he goes through a window. But I just noticed the wig, what they did the actor who's playing Michael, is blonde. He's got a blonde wig, and then suddenly what happened to Dr. Humerus? He just suddenly disappears. So he's chasing the little girl, right, and then suddenly I noticed his hair's black again. So it's only one little fuck up there, I did notice, but you know, it's not a big deal. So you've got these Chauncey dies anyway. Rachel manages to get the little girl out of Dodds, out of this stool. So you've got this Chauncey dies, got this fat fucker that runs his own pub, you know, he's a bit overweight. And you've got these typical country boys, right? And they come in, nick of time, save the fucking day, nick of time, right? So it's kind of like that, and you think they're going to dive off. But I do love the stunt in this, because Michael just gets up, gets one of the Chauncey lads, throws him off the truck. Really good stunt scene, I've got to admit that. Gets one of the guys, rips his face off with his bare hands. See, that's the only issues I had with the original Friday the 13th. The death scenes were never really that in your face. In this, Michael doesn't fuck about. I mean, Michael does not fuck about. When he gets them, he sizes, he dices, a lot more graphic, a lot more gruesome. I didn't think it was this graphic or this gruesome is number 2, but it's still a bit of good gruesome death scenes. They do the nice tits, he slams her in a fucking door with a shotgun. She aftershots of a dead cops. Oh, I could forget this. Some of the cops all got massacred. So see the aftershots there. There's a lot of aftershots, so I just wish it would have shown a bit more meat to the feds, if you know what I mean. So Michael's about to get the door, right? Cops come in at the nick of time because they've got some other cops to shoot Michael up. But before he gets shot up, he touches the little girl's hand. He gets shot, falls down a well. Think it's going to be a happy ending. But I always remember the ending in this until the 5th one ruined it. Where the little girl, right, you think, see somebody gets possessed. She's not sort of Michael's possessed a body, or she's going to become the next female version of Michael, and they was going to have an idea of Michael now no longer being no more, going to have a grown-up version of that little girl, and see if it's going to be like a female version of Michael Mathers, because it ends with her with a pair of scissors. Dr. Humerus is about to shoot her, a Bobby comes out, stops him from shooting her, and he's just screaming like a knob, no, no. End of movie. You get that classic theme to end of movie, and it's one of them. What would have happened? They would have set that ending. You know, the ending where, because it had an ending where you got the idea the little girl's attacked her auntie, and she stood there with blood dripping off the scissors. She stood there with the same towel mask on what Michael wore when he was a kid. So in all fairness, this was like, you know, 10 years after the original one. The original one, as we all know, it come out in 1978, and this one come out in 1988. But it's not a bad one, you know what I mean? It's not a bad one. If you like them sort of slasher films, back from the golden 80s, you would definitely like this one. You will definitely like this one. It's bloody hard, it's fire hard, it's everything I like. So I love it. So yeah, it's Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Mathers, because the third one wasn't that successful. But I don't mind it. I just would have seen what it would have been like. He wouldn't have done that, and he would have done one where it was an haunted house. But it's not bad for what it is. In my eyes, it's just left it as this one, because the 5th one is a piece of fucking shit. And when I get to that, you know why. It will definitely be a rant. But for the 5th Halloween film, it's not a bad one. The 5th one, it's not a bad one. I mean, the 4th fucking Halloween film, the 4th Halloween film is a damn good one. So for that, 11-star ratings. When I do get to the 5th one, that is a fucking omen. That would definitely have to be a rant. But Halloween 4, in my eyes, it was a good one. Definitely good. Michael doesn't fuck about in the blood and gore department. That being Halloween 4, shot in 1988. Damn good film. Damn worthy one. So they've left it as that, because the rest was shit. Until then though, be smart, be safe, and I'll see you soon for some more reviews.